Help their chances with a win by Jason Hilger, and they're going to award that in just a second, as you see on your screen. Again, Hilger, the champion at 125, beating Troy Beeler. Again, Plainville adding on to their team total. We'll see how that adds up as we move along. Right now, Fred Scott, let's take a look at what's yet ahead. We're up to 135 pounds, and that's going to be a good matchup, as we've got Corey Shramick from Atwood, a junior at 22-4-1. He took fourth last year at 130 pounds. And you've got Charlie McDonald from Stockton, a senior, a two-time state qualifier, and we might consider him an underdog also. He took fourth at the Colby Regional, so he had to wrestle some real tough matches to get to this spot, didn't he?
I'm sure he did, and of course his hardest matches may be in practice, because obviously he and Johnston practice against each other quite a bit, and that's what it takes to make good wrestlers. If you don't have good competition in your practice room, it's pretty hard to get good. And when you find one good wrestler, you normally find another one just above him or just below him.
And Shramick, to get here for Atwood, beat the #1 wrestler, a ranked wrestler, in Becker of Hoisington. So he's come quite the struggle, too.
Of course, McDonald has started off with the takedown there and taking that early lead like he wants to do. And of course, he's very good at controlling the match when he gets ahead like that. We're probably going to see some legs again. And we're probably going to see some kind of power half when he gets the opportunity for it.
Again, the wrestler, Charlie McDonald of Stockton, in the blue with the lead over Shramick of Atwood in the red singlet. And he picks up a point for that escape, and he goes for the takedown.
You notice Shramick's got some pretty powerful legs, and those legs just got that escape for him, because he was able to stand up and just drive inside of McDonald there. And that was a pretty good defensive move by McDonald to keep from losing a whole bunch of points there. He could have come out of that down by about 5 or 6 points, and he kept his head about him as he broke loose there and came right back in defensive position. That was good wrestling on his part.
And boy, Shramick just kept going at him and going at him. Right now it's a 2-1 lead for McDonald, and look at this.
He's got that single leg. He's got it picked up there, and he may have missed his opportunity for it right there. He's given Shramick a little distance, and it's going to be hard to suck that back in there close enough now to go on in, but he's going to try to step over the leg and rubber arm out of there, and we'll see if he can do that.
30 seconds to go as a whistle, and the official calls a stalemate, so they'll both go to the stand position. 2-1, or I should say, yes, 2-1. It's McDonald out in front. For Atwood and Coach Steve Woody, well, they've had quite a run at this tournament. They won it back in 1989. We said Plainville won it in 89. They won it in 88, but it was Atwood's turn in 89 being the state champions, and they've been towards the top in about every state tournament they've competed in.
That was almost an excellent fireman's carry there, except he lost the arm. If he'd been able to hold that arm in there tighter and keep that armpit down tight, he'd have maybe picked up 5 points on it there, but as it was, he lost the arm, and I'm sure Shramick had something to do with him losing that arm. Consequently, we're still at 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1. McDonald out in front at the end of one. I want you to describe, if you could, that fireman's carry in just a second as we get ready for the second period. McDonald out in front from Stockton, maybe a surprise. His 2 losses, one to, let's see, took second at the Panther Classic, lost to a wrestler from Concordia. He didn't place in the MCL tournament, though, but 2 of his losses to Trindle of Trigo and Poling of St. Francis, so he's come into some tough competition.
Yes, both of those boys wrestled for 3rd place earlier this afternoon, and I believe Poling won it and Tyndall got 4th. So he's been beaten by some good wrestlers, but he's obviously a good wrestler himself because he's been able to come back from it. And he beat Tyndall last night in the semifinals. There's that fireman's carry again. He got that elbow again. He lost the elbow on his way under. He hooked that up, sat in under, and if he could keep that elbow, he can make that thing work for him, but he keeps losing the elbow as he goes down, so Shramick's able to hang on and keep from going over with it.
1:25 left in the second period. At 3-1, McDonald with the lead, and trying to do something against this tough wrestler, Shramick from Atwood. Corey,
he still wants that fireman. He goes into the Kelly there, they call it, where he just tried to spin out of it that time.
A fireman move, you're trying to, what, get a hold of that arm and roll, or what are you wanting to do?
you want to pick the man up on top of your shoulders and bring him down on the mat on his back. He tries to go in underneath there, and it's natural. It's just a natural progression. If you make it work as you come out of it, you've got the reverse half Nelson on the man, and you should be able to score 4 or 5 points off that move.
Again, the points are few and far in between right now with 40 seconds left in the second period. Here's a move.
That was an excellent double leg by Stramick. So far in this match, McDonald has been the aggressor, but here Stramick's coming back on the aggressive side now, and that was an excellent double leg takedown move, but McDonald was able to spin his way out of it and keep from losing the 2 points.
Well, I've never seen so much action resulting in such a stalemate. Right now it's 3-1. McDonald out in front by 2 over Stramick, again from Atwood with about 20 seconds left in the second period. And again, this is an interesting side note. The top 4 finishers from the Colby Regional are finishing 1, 2, 3, and 4 in this tournament.
Interesting, but not unusual. It happens quite frequently. And you know, you brought up a point there, Lance, that a lot of people say, well, how can a 3-1 match or a 2-1 match be exciting? And we've just seen a good example of how that kind of a match can be exciting. You can have all kinds of action, and nobody actually scores any points. And McDonald almost had one there, and of course you hear the Stockton fans yelling that they thought he should have had it, but time was obviously out, so he did not have his control established in time to get the takedown.
And the fans make good officials, don't they? I'll tell you,
they never make a mistake.
But that's the way it should be sometimes. They are here to cheer on their favorites. There's an escape.
Another good stand-up. Stramick just awful good at doing that to get out. Now, if he can make one of his takedowns work, he can make this match go the other way for a while.
Stramick, the Northwest Kansas League champion, picked up a decision over Dean of Scott City for that title, so he took second in the Norton. He was beaten by a wrestler from Cambridge, Nebraska. Just had a great season.
Okay, McDonald's been able to work that, but Stramick still got that whizzer hooked in there, or the hip lock they call it in Oklahoma, and he's not going to give up that takedown as long as he keeps that hooked, unless McDonald is able to hook those legs and bring him back over with some kind of control. There he goes. Referee feels like he has enough of that control now, so he's got the takedown.
Boy, now that's a pretty fine line, but again, you just have to get that angle, and that is defined control then, right?
The official has to feel for that, and of course it's hard to do if you haven't been out there on that mat. And of course, Jim Stanley, the referee there, has been out on that mat, and he has wrestled, and he has coached, and you just feel for that, and when you feel like he has control, and he knows he has control, you give it to him.
50 seconds left, and McDonald in control, leading 5-2. McDonald, a senior from Stockton, against Corey Stramick, a junior from Atwood.
And McDonald is trying to go for the pin here. He's hoping to get that arm back around behind his head and go for the guillotine. I'm not sure that's the wisest move he could make at this time, and he's given up an escape, it looks like, as a result of it.
But he's running out of time. He's got to do something drastic at this point.
Well, he's been able to pull that leg back in, and he's not going to get that escape. There, he's got it. The referees have given him the escape, and now a takedown ties it up. So Stramick can come back in and get that takedown. We've got an overtime.
Steve Woody, head coach for Atwood, yelling instructions into his wrestler, and we've seen stranger things happen in 15 seconds in the third period.
We certainly have. McDonald wants to keep those hands locked around that leg so he can hang on and keep Stramick from going anywhere. And he's been able to stall it out that way.
And that's the way it's going to finish. So he held on for the win after jumping out to a lead over a tremendous wrestler from Atwood, a junior by Stramick. But the championship goes to a senior, Charlie McDonald from Stockton. So how about that, Stockton Tigers? 2 back-to-back champions.
Yeah, it's amazing that they're not in the title race with two champions like that. It's hard to believe, but you know, those that's where we find out how much those 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th place finishers are worth.
It's where you stack up those points on the back door, so to say, on the back side of the consolation side of the bracket. So the champion at 135 pounds, Charlie McDonald, a senior from Stockton, 25-5 on the season, and taking runner-up honors, Corey Stramick of Atwood, 22-5-1 on the year. So McDonald, the champion, and his second trip to state comes into gold for the Stockton Tigers. That again at 135. And again, as we said, polling takes third at 135 from St. Francis, and Tyndall in this tournament from Walkini takes fourth. Becker from Hoisington with a fifth place finish. Here's the slow-mo in the finish. And again, McDonald do it. All he had to do is hold on. And boy, what a feeling that is for these guys.
It has to feel good. I don't know. I've never had that feeling myself.
Now, come on, I heard that you were undefeated as a collegiate wrestling, at least in your first 2 years, right?
Well, yeah. 1-0 is a pretty good season as far as I'm concerned.
Just quit after one win, right?
That's right. You win your first one and you don't wrestle anymore.
Former Fort Hays State grappler, again now referee, former coach. We saw the champion right there, Corey Johnston.